Have you ever just stopped and thought about how fast AI is moving? I mean, things that felt like total science fiction just, what, a couple of years back. Now they're becoming part of our reality. It's pretty mind-bending, the pace. Okay, so let's try and unpack some of this today. Our mission really is to cut through all the noise, give you the most important bits of knowledge from our sources. We're calling it AI Frontier, models, wearables, and industry shifts. It's about the absolute cutting edge. So, in this deep dive, we're hitting three main frontiers. First up, these incredible new AI models that, well, they blend understanding and creation in totally new ways. Then we'll get into the hardware, the chips powering all this, and the pretty intense competition brewing there. And finally, how AI is popping up in the next wave of gadgets, like right in your face smart glasses. The goal here is simple: give you a shortcut to getting smart on these key developments. We've got some surprising facts, some real practical implications for you. All right, let's jump into that first frontier, bridging imagination and reality with something called Qwen VLo. Now, maybe you've heard of Qwen VL or Qwen 2.5 VL. Think of this as the next big leap. It's a unified model, understands text, understands visuals, and it can generate really high-quality stuff based on that understanding. It's not just smarter analysis. It's an AI that can perceive, imagine, and then actually create. And it's out there in a preview version you can check out on Qwen Chat.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here is exactly that jump. It's not just understanding what's in a picture anymore. It's depicting it, creating it with pretty impressive accuracy. It really feels like it's bridging, perception and actual creation. It moves beyond just analysis to active intelligent synthesis. It changes how we might even think about creating digital content.
Yeah, like moving from just describing what you want to sort of collaboratively dreaming it up with the AI.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
So how does it do that? How does this collaborative dreaming actually work with Qwen VLo?
Well, they talk about a progressive generation method. Picture it like an artist sketching first, right? Broad strokes. Then filling in the details layer by layer. It builds the picture left to right and top to bottom. And the whole time, it's constantly checking itself, refining predictions so the final thing looks coherent, harmonious, which apparently makes the quality better, but also gives the user more flexible control.
Right. It's not just spitting out a final image instantly. You get a sense of the buildup, which could be really useful. So what does this actually mean for someone using it? Well, first, they say it gives you more precise content understanding and recreation. See, older models sometimes got confused semantically, like they'd misinterpret an object or mess up how things relate in a scene.
Yeah, you'd get weird distortions, things that just looked off.
Exactly. But Qwen VLo, because it captures details better, it keeps things semantically consistent. The example they give is changing a car's color. It knows the model, keeps the structure right, and just changes the style naturally.
So it wouldn't accidentally turn your sedan into, like, a monster truck.
Right. Hopefully not. Second big thing: open-ended instruction-based editing. This means you talk to it in plain language, like you're talking to an artist. Imagine saying, change this painting to a Van Gogh style, or make this photo look like it's from the 19th century.
Wow.
Or even just add a sunny sky to this image. It can handle style transfers, reconstructing scenes, detailed touch-ups. And what's really powerful, it can do those sort of traditional computer vision tasks too, predicting depth maps, so how far things are.
Segmentation maps, outlining objects.
Yeah, edge information, all just from simple text edits. And you can stack commands like modify an object, edit text on the image, and change the background all in one go.
That's seriously versatile.
And third, it's got multilingual support, specifically mentions Chinese and English, which is obviously huge for accessibility, breaking down language barriers.
Definitely important.
Yeah.
Makes it a global tool.
Okay, so while the multilingual stuff is great, the magic happens when you see the examples. Let's walk through a couple from the source because they really show what it can do. Picture this iterative process. You start, generate a cute Shiba Inu. Okay. Then you say, change the background to grassland. Done. Then add a red hat and black transparent sunglasses, and get this, write Qwen VLo on the hat.
Okay, that's specific.
Right. Then transform it into Ghibli style. Then make it 3D Q version style. Still with me. Now, put it inside a crystal ball.
A crystal ball? Yeah. Seriously?
Seriously. And the final step: generate a first-person view of someone drawing this on a notebook with the crystal ball on a coffee table in a park.
Whoa. Okay, that's a journey, all from text.
All from text commands, step by step. It also does precise stuff like annotation tasks, using a blue mask to find and frame a pen or a pink mask to segment just the edge of a dog. And it's flexible with reinterpretation, turning cartoons real, making figures into balloons.
Replacing a watermelon with a durian, why not?
Exactly. And that complex command example is wild.
Hmm?
Generate a whole subway scene. Man reading, woman in red sunglasses, a husky.
A husky on the subway.
Apparently.
Okay.
And the Statue of Liberty outside the window, plus Qwen VLo on the station sign, all from one prompt.
That's packing a lot of detail into one request.
It also does straight text to image, even bilingual posters like epic anime artwork of a wizard casting a cosmic spell that says Qwen VLo. You get the idea. And maybe one of the coolest bits, it can look at its own creations and understand them. Like it generated a puppy and then identified it as looks like a beagle or maybe a mix, and a kitten as a tabby.
So it's self-aware, in a sense.
Yeah.
Analyzing its own output. That self-analysis is interesting. But thinking bigger picture, that dynamic resolution training, handling different image details,
Right.
and the progressive generation, that top-to-bottom, left-to-right build, that's really good for tasks where you need fine control. Think about, say, generating long ad copy, or maybe comic panels. You can watch it happen, tweak it in real time.
Makes it more of a co-pilot than just a vending machine for images.
Exactly. More of a co-creator. Now, look. It is still in preview. The source is clear about that. There can be inaccuracies, inconsistencies. Sometimes it doesn't follow instructions perfectly.
Sure, standard early stage tech stuff.
Right. Stability and understanding what you want can vary, but they're working on it, obviously. Improvement is ongoing.
That makes sense. But just thinking for people wanting to try it, where are those inaccuracies most likely to pop up? Is it like subtle details or bigger things?
Often with these early versions, you might see small visual artifacts, maybe slight weirdness in really complex scenes, or it might miss the mark on a very subjective artistic instruction, like make it feel more melancholic. That's tricky. And that instability in recognizing intent bit, it just means you might need to rephrase your prompt sometimes, try a slightly different way of asking to get exactly what you're picturing.
Gotcha. Needs a bit of prompt whispering sometimes.
Pretty much. But even with those quirks, the core ability is there, and it's powerful. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, these multimodal models, doing text and visuals both ways, input and output, it just opens up completely new ways to express ideas. Not just text answers, but maybe diagrams, annotations, generated right there. And what's really profound, maybe, is how generating stuff can help the model understand better by creating intermediate things like those segmentation maps we talked about. It's like it's checking its own work as it goes.
Showing it's working.
Exactly. Which should lead to better performance, more reliable AI overall.
Okay, so these models are incredible, getting more creative, more aware, but they need serious muscle behind them. Which brings us to the infrastructure, the hardware, the talent, and the battles going on there. So OpenAI, obviously a huge player. We're learning that it's starting to diversify their chip suppliers. Now, they're still a massive Nvidia customer buying tons of GPUs. But there's a shift happening. They've recently started renting Google's AI chips, their TPUs, to power ChatGPT and other things.
Yeah, and this raises a really important question. Why does this matter? What's the big deal? Well, first, it's the first time OpenAI has really used non-NVIDIA chips in a significant way. That's notable. And it also signals they're moving away from relying only on Microsoft's data centers, who are their biggest backer, remember?
Right. Gives them more independence.
Exactly. It could make TPUs look like a cheaper option for inference. That's the using the AI part, not the training part. But maybe the deeper thing here is OpenAI is de-risking, spreading their bets, not putting all their eggs in the NVIDIA-Microsoft basket. It's a strategic move for more autonomy, and honestly, it could speed up innovation across the whole AI hardware scene. More competition is usually good.
Okay, that makes sense strategically for OpenAI, but what about Google? Isn't there a risk in, helping out a major competitor like OpenAI, even if it's not their best chips?
That's a really sharp question. Google's playing a complex game here. They are making their TPUs more available externally. Used to be mostly for their internal stuff. And doing that has helped them land big customers. Apple, Anthropic, Safe Superintelligence, companies that are also OpenAI competitors, by the way.
Ah, interesting.
So yeah, there's revenue, definitely. But Google also gets incredibly valuable data back from these large-scale real-world uses. Feedback they might not get just using the chips themselves. Helps them refine their own tech.
And you mentioned the crucial detail, they're not renting their absolute top-tier TPUs to OpenAI.
Precisely. It's a calculated risk. They get some benefit, help build the TPU market, get feedback, but they keep their most powerful stuff for themselves and maybe closer partners. A strategic balancing act.
Okay, so that's the silicon struggle. Let's switch gears to the human side, the talent wars, because it's not just about the chips, right? It's about the brains designing and training these things.
Absolutely critical.
And things seem pretty intense. We're hearing about an internal situation at OpenAI. Apparently, Meta has been successfully poaching some of their senior researchers. That sounds quite dramatic. OpenAI's chief research officer, Mark Chen, wrote this internal memo saying it gave him a visceral feeling as if someone has broken into our home and stolen something.
Wow, that's strong language.
Yeah.
Really shows how high the stakes feel internally.
Yeah. And OpenAI's response also tells you a lot. Chen said leadership, including CEO Sam Altman, they've been working around the clock talking to those with offers. They're recalibrating comp, so paying more and looking for creative ways to recognize and reward top talent.
Trying to stop the bleeding, basically.
Yeah.
And just for scale, reports mention around 8 researchers leaving for Meta. Now, Sam Altman apparently claimed Meta was throwing around $100 million signing bonuses.
$100 million?
Yeah, though Meta execs have kind of pushed back on that specific number internally. But whatever the real figure is, it shows the crazy money involved.
Unbelievable amounts.
It really illustrates the lengths companies will go to secure this very rare, very elite AI talent. And, what's fascinating is how this shuffling impacts innovation itself. When key people move, they take knowledge, focus. It can slow things down at one place, speed them up at another. It's almost a zero-sum game for that top tier of talent right now.
Okay, so we've got these incredibly smart models, the hardware battles, the talent wars. Let's bring it closer to home. How is this AI actually showing up for you, for us, in everyday tech? And the next frontier seems to be smart glasses. Xiaomi just jumped into this market. It's growing fast, but it's also getting crowded. They've launched their first AI-powered smart glasses, calling them a next-generation personal smart gadget.
Catchy. So what do they actually do?
Okay, so they can capture first-person video, obviously, respond to voice commands, take photos, record clips. They can recognize objects, translate text like while you're reading a physical book.
Oh, that's handy.
Yeah, and even scan mobile payment QR codes. It's all powered by their Xiao AI assistant. Specs-wise, starts around 1,999 yuan. That's roughly, 280 US, 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera, Qualcomm AR1 chip inside. And get this battery life. 8.6 hours on a charge. That's apparently twice what the Ray-Ban Meta glasses offer.
Wow, double the battery life is significant. And recharge time.
45 minutes. Pretty quick. Key parts come from Sunny Optical for the lenses, and Sony too.
Right. And putting this into the market context, Meta, with their Ray-Ban partnership, they really dominate right now. They had something like over 60% of the global AI glasses market last year.
60%? That's huge.
It is. But analysts are gearing up for what they're calling a war of hundreds of smart glasses by 2025. It's about to get very competitive. And, these devices, they're really blurring that line between digital and physical. Imagine getting real-time info overlaid right onto your view of the world. Not on a screen, but just there.
Changes how you navigate, learn, interact.
Totally. It's a fundamental shift, potentially, bringing AI from the screen literally into your vision.
So who else is playing in this space besides Xiaomi and Meta?
Well, Huawei launched updated AI glasses back in April. They do voice commands, real-time translation, but interestingly, no camera on those ones.
Different approach.
And Baidu, another big Chinese tech firm, they announced their Xiaodu AI glasses. Those do have a camera, powered by their own Ernie AI. Expected sometime this year.
Okay, so lots of players entering. What makes Xiaomi stand out, according to the analysts? They mentioned Xiaomi's unique strength is its huge ecosystem.
Exactly. They have all those smart home gadgets, even electric vehicles now. So the glasses aren't just a standalone thing for them. They can integrate it much more broadly into a smart living platform.
Makes sense. It's another node in their network?
That's their potential advantage, yeah. It's not just about the glasses themselves, but how they connect to everything else Xiaomi makes.
And the growth in this market is just wild, you said.
Global smart glasses market grew 210% year-on-year in 2024.
210%.
And expected to grow another 60% this year. It's really taking off.
Okay, wow. So let's try and pull these threads together. What does all this mean? We've seen these incredible AI models like Qwen VLo blurring the lines between understanding the world and creating new versions of it. That's changing digital interaction.
Yeah, the creative potential is huge.
Then there's the foundation, the fierce competition for the best chips. The strategic moves by giants like OpenAI and Google diversifying suppliers. It's a high-stakes hardware game.
Absolutely. Powering everything else.
Plus, the equally intense battle for the human talent, the researchers actually building this future, with companies basically raiding each other.
The brain draining game is real.
And finally, we see AI showing up right in front of us, literally in smart glasses from Xiaomi and others, offering new ways to see and interact with our surroundings.
Bringing it all into our daily lives.
So hopefully putting these pieces together gives you a clearer picture of this incredibly fast-moving AI world. It helps you stay informed about where things are really heading.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Imagine how all these things connect. You've got advanced AI that can create and even understand its own creations. You have diversifying, powerful hardware becoming more accessible, and you have these wearables changing how we perceive things. Put it all together. It's not just going to reshape our digital lives. It could fundamentally alter how we perceive and interact with reality itself. The world around us might become this dynamic, intelligent interface.